Good evening. Welcome once again to the new episode of Scoville Scouts. If you've ever eaten hot wings, they normally start off with Frank's Red Hot. Frank's Red Hot's 450 Scovilles. We throw that sauce out. We're going to start today with the classics. It's 1,800 Scovilles or 4 times hotter. Today, we've got 10 wings, 10 questions, and I'm joined by Dr. David Mackzum, principal of Princeton Community Middle School. Dr. Mackzum?
Thanks
Good evening. Welcome for being.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm looking forward to it.
You say that now. We'll see if that doesn't change shortly.
Yes.
All right. Well, what have you done to prepare for this? Anything special?
Well, you know, I did my research and studied a little bit about how to prepare, but really just a nice shot of Pepto before I came in. So.
All right. Well, let's get started with the classic, okay. 1,800 Scoville.
All right.
All right, let's start at the beginning. That for us would be Finneytown High School. I'm a 1989 graduate. I believe you're a 1995 graduate.
That is correct.
What is your most fond memory of Finneytown?
The thing I remember the most about it was there were so many opportunities because it was a smaller school to be able to be involved with a lot of different activities. So I really took advantage of sports. I was in musicals and plays. Community service was a strong program, and really that kind of got my foundation for wanting to give back to the community.
What sports?
I played football, basketball, and baseball. Then when we had to take a running test my junior year, and I just knew I wouldn't pass that. So, but I did that. So
I was football and basketball, and remember it fondly. It was a great school, a lot of fun. I'd asked you previously about your homecoming queen, and if you remembered who actually won homecoming queen your senior year.
I do remember that. That was Amanda Borden. She was an Olympic gymnast, and she was famous for being in The Magnificent Seven, which was a book, and that's kind of my claim to fame is that there was a picture of me with her. The one thing I remember about Amanda was when we were in gym class, she used to just do the unbelievable amount of pull-ups, and all the boys were jealous of her for that.
All right, well with that, let's move on to wing number 2. Wing number 2 is the Hippy Dippy Green from the Angry Goat Pepper Company. It's coming in at 2,300 Scoville, so a step up. We're not moving into anything real dangerous as of yet.
Okay.
But cheers.
Cheers.
Now on to the Miami years. You received your BS in education from Miami University. What is the best place to eat on a college budget at Miami University?
Mac and Joe's.
Mac and Joe's. Favorite
Mac and
dish?
Joe's. Oh, man. I like the wings there.
All right. What about Bruno's Pizza? Is it as bad as they say it is, or is it just cheap pizza for a college student?
My opinion was it was just cheap pizza for college students. But at times we didn't, we weren't too worried about the taste.
What extracurricular activities did you do at Miami?
Honestly, I really didn't do that much in college as I did in high school. I coached, when I was in college, I coached football, basketball, and baseball at Colerain High School, Colerain Middle School, Wyoming Middle School. So that for me is what kept me busy when I was in college.
Now, coaching at Colerain, was that during the state-run years?
I think one of the years I coached freshmen there, and the one thing I remember about my first year's coaching over there is, of course, I went to Finneytown where we didn't have a stellar football team or a stellar record. I think we were a combined total of 5-35 in the 4 years I played varsity football. But all I remember at Colerain one year is when I came in for basketball, I was coaching freshman basketball, and I just remember they lost on a Saturday in the playoffs, and then on a Monday, optional weightlifting, they had 100 kids in the weight room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, did you pledge to a fraternity, anything during the Miami
No,
years?
no.
No college stories that...
No, not too much. Not that I could share, but no. But no, I was really actually lucky. When I first started college, I thought I wanted to be a high school football coach and an athletic director, but, you know.
And Miami University, the cradle of college coaches, so that would...
They have the famous ones there, and that's kind of our claim to fame. But, you know, I think it worked out. I think being a principal is very similar to being a head coach.
All right, then let's move on to wing number 3.
Okay, I'm enjoying it so far.
This is a pineapple habanero from Heartbeat Sauce Company. Now we're moving up to 12,200 Scovilles. So moving up a little bit.
All right.
All right, you went on to get your master's from Xavier University in 2004. Are you more of a Miami fan or of a Xavier fan when it comes to game day?
That would definitely be Xavier. I grew up, you know, with the crosstown shootout, UC versus Xavier. But it's really good now. I would say I'm more into just, you know, local sports doing well and local teams that would do well. So, but actually, if I had to pick, you know, Miami, Xavier, I would go with Xavier for sure.
Now, while you were attending and getting your master's degree, you were also working at that time?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was, you know, I was younger, so I didn't, you know, yet have my whole family and kids and stuff. So, you know, that was more manageable. But I was still doing all the coaching and stuff while I was working on that. But when I went back, I knew that, you know, I wanted to be getting into administration because I had some really good principals that I worked for at Colray Middle School when I started teaching. So.
Let's move on to wing number 4. Now we're starting to get into some heat. This is the Ghost Pepper and Blueberry from Bravado Spice Company, coming in at 28,000 Scoville.
Let's do it.
All right, you received your doctorate in education from NKU, having hit almost every major college in the area with the exception of UC. The Battle of the Wings.
Yes.
Let's see, your dissertation, The Non-Traditional College Graduate, Graduate Perspectives and the Experiences Perceived to Impact Graduation at a Proprietary College. Let me ask you about the University of Phoenix and other online learning. Is it worth it, and how does Miami different from a government subsidized school?
Well, when I was working on my doctorate, I was actually at a proprietary college downtown on Fountain Square. They were Lincoln College of Technology and Southwestern College. So it is a little bit different mindset when you're at a proprietary school like that. I started out there teaching developmental classes, math and English, and then I moved to director of education. I would say the experiences of online benefits, I would say more for working individuals that are trying to get, you know, trying to manage a little bit more. But I will say my preference has always been in, you know, the traditional brick and mortar schools where you can go and experience it. And one of the things I really liked about Xavier and NKU, where I got my doctorate, is that we had professionals in the field that were working with us. So that was one of the things. So I really, you know, and then the for-profit college scene took a little bit of a hit. So when that took place, I went back into traditional K-12 education, but I also knew while I was at the college working with, you know, older students, that would be the best time for me to get my doctorate because I didn't have the pressure of a K-12 school where you're dealing with the emotions, you know, and the ups and downs of kids, you know, students. So.
Still holding up okay over there?
I'm doing all right, actually. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Keep that in mind.
I will. Power of positive thinking.
All right. Wing number 5 is Los Calientes. Small step up. We're at 36,000 Scovilles.
Okay.
All right, Wing 5 is traditionally where we bring out a photo, something from social media. We ask you to explain it. And we've been up and down your social media, and rightfully so, you keep it relatively boring. And I know in your position and stuff, you're kind of required to do that. However, your antics as Shrek and as Santa himself have not gone unnoticed, even if they have been poorly documented. Have you ever done a stunt before the students or anything that has backfired that didn't go over?
That's a good one. I would say there was a time a couple years ago when we were, the band usually plays Jingle Bell Rock before the, while the students are coming into school. And, I got pretty fired up for it. So I did a slide when I was doing my guest conducting, and I slid on the ground and did a belly smack, and then I had a bruise at the at the end of the night, and then that, so that was probably one of the ones that backfired on me. But no, my philosophy with that is I think it's important that the kids, have positive experiences and memories when they come to school. So that's something that I remember as a student that I really appreciated, was those memories that the adults gave you versus maybe a lesson that was, a good lesson. So
ready to move on?
I'm ready. I don't know. I think we'll be all right. Let's do it.
All right, because we're going to jump here.
Okay.
The next one is Fire Fire by Adobo Loco Company. It's 98,000 Scovilles.
Okay. There you go.
Cheers. This one's transition wing.
Okay. Did you make these?
No.
No. Okay.
I put the sauce on them to make sure that they're on there, but.
They're good.
Oh, good. All right, let's talk about famous principles. And first, Joe Louis Clark, famed from the movie Lean on Me. Are a bullhorn and a baseball bat in a hallway an effective way to show students you care?
Ironically enough, my first couple years at Princeton, I used a megaphone in the hallways to get the kids' attention to help them move to classes.
I told you that one's a bit.
Yeah, kick it up there, sir. Kick it up there. It really depends on the environment. I have evolved in my thinking in that, it was kind of counterproductive in that, similar to I was a lifeguard when I was in high school and growing up. And I wouldn't mind swimming now, but no. It's similar if you say things like, don't run versus walk. If you say don't run, that kind of subconsciously puts into their heads to do that. So, for example, in the hallways, the best way is instead of saying don't run, we say walk with a purpose. So honestly, it really just depends on the context of it. I think in his case, it was definitely appropriate.
I know he got a lot of negative publicity because he was a firm believer that if you're not there to learn, you're taking up space and the opportunity for someone else that does. Is there any truth to that? Do some students detract from others' abilities to learn? And how do you deal with that?
Obviously, yes. And I think the best way to deal with it is you just really have to provide positive reinforcements for the good choices that they make. You have to constantly tell them and teach them the importance of education. One of the things that we do in particular is that, we have a core set of values through our GoVike values: value learning, integrity, kindness, effort, and safety. So you constantly have to show that. Different families place different values on education. Obviously, with a doctor, it's always been important in my family that, education is key, and that's the way that you move and keep ahead. And my dad always taught me that was, college education is the best way to secure for your family and be able to provide for them.
All right. Next we have the Garlic Reaper Torchbearer sauce, moving up to 138,000 Scovilles. You ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right. I know summer reading is important, and a past summer you spent time with a book called Relentless by Hamish Brewer, the tattooed skateboarding principal. Explain his disruption style and your biggest takeaway from the book.
I would say the biggest thing that I really liked about the book is that he really focused on, meeting the kids where they're at and taking them where they need to be, not making excuses for them, but enabling them to be able to make better choices.
Good news is only 3 to go.
Yeah. But that they make good choices, and that every student, and this was probably my biggest takeaway, every student has a unique talent and an individual gift, no matter what it is. Our job as educators and as working with young people is to be able to find that talent, showcase it, and promote it throughout the school. And that's one of the things that I think, we try to do. We do musicians of the week, we do artists of the week, we do athletes of the week, coaches, and then students of the week. Because again, I believe this, and that's kind of what's lost in education, is that we've only focused maybe on certain awards and certain things and recognitions, when in reality we really need to find what kids are good at, but then also celebrate it as well, so that they know that no matter what their contribution is to our school, it's going to make it a better place. Well,
all right. Next up, we have Burn After Eating Karma Sauce. It's 669,000 Scovilles.
That sounds delightful.
All right, quoting Hamish, as educators, we often put other people's loved ones before our own. Behind so many amazing educators are loved ones and family members who we need to remember to say thank you to. For this wing, this is your opportunity to thank those people. Who are they?
My wife, Erin, she's a teacher at Pleasant Run Middle School. Being a teacher, she affords me and understand what it's like to be a building principal. But all I can say for that is I'm blessed for her, my sons, Logan, who's a junior now, he goes to Great Oaks. My other son, Braden, who's in the 5th grade at Whitaker Elementary in Finneytown schools. And really, family's always been the most important thing to me. Growing up, that was the one thing that my parents and my dad always taught me about. My mom taught me about unconditional love for people, accepting them for who they are. My dad taught me my work ethic that's got me to where I'm at today. So my family, and my sister and my brother as well, who I grew up with, and we all kind of share the same experiences. And being a middle child, I got the experiences of being the older brother, but then also the younger brother as well. Woo!
All right, we're down to 2 to go. And I can tell you this next one's the worst. So if you've got lifelines or anything else that you think may help you,
Prep
now
for
is
it?
probably the time to go ahead and prep for it.
Okay, I like that.
My eyes are starting to water now.
Yeah. This one's the worst one?
This next one's the worst one.
Okay.
From my experience.
Let's do it. Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
Go
There you go.
Wildcats, yep. Let me get that. All right. Whew.
All right. Take off the principal hat for a minute. I want to talk to Coach Mackzum. Let the audience know the coaching experience you've had with the Wyoming Cowboys, with the Coleraine, and coaching the students in the hallways at Princeton.
Just talk about the experience, or like how I like it?
How do you go about it? How do you see coaching on a field as coaching in the classroom? Or in the hallways more?
I think it's the same. Coaching a team And one of the things that I've always felt like is you got to set goals for your team. Most important thing.
You may not have brought enough milk.
I got some more back there if I need it. So coaching is motivating. So that's really what's the most important thing that you can do with the kids. Understanding that every role on the team is important. So no matter what it is, celebrating that. Motivating them, finding out who kids are, what makes them work.
And really trying to work with.
I told you this one was the worst one.
Wow. And really trying to work with them on what makes them better. But that's the challenge every day that I enjoy and why I love my job is that I get to motivate students, I get to motivate staff, and I get to, try to be, get the best out of everybody that they can every single day.
All right.
Woo.
Tradition on the last wing is to put a little extra.
Okay.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm a traditional guy.
All right, ready?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. All right.
You okay?
I'm good.
All right. You've climbed the mountain of hot sauce to receive your degree in Scovilles. At this time, I'll turn it over to you to let you send out a message to the students of PCMS.
All right. Congratulations on making your goal. We had our students meet mastery on rates, ratios, and proportions, and intercept slope. And I just want to say this to the students. I feel blessed every single day that I get to come into school, work with you. I'm the luckiest man alive. I love our diversity. I love our students. I love our parents, and I love our community. And as I tell you guys all the time, every single day, I believe in you. I have high expectations, and I love you. Go Vikes.
All right, put your hands together.
Woo!
Dr. David Mackzum, congratulations.